Oh, oh man, that's good. That's good. Almost like about it. Man. All right, I think we're live. Oh man. Woo, that's tasty. Hold on, I just got to finish up this last piece of fried chicken. Hold on a second. All right. Anybody there? No. Man. Hold on a second. Man, it was rude. We're breaking bread together, man. I'll go on, Babu. Man, that's good. All right. Oh, man, that was good. All right. Woo. All right, so I probably got stuff on my teeth. There we go. Anyone out there yet? A couple people. So I made these crappy old freaking, I got a deep fryer the other day, cheap one. And I follow this guy on YouTube. Hey, Jack, what's going on, man? I made these crappy old freaking chicken strips, which look like freaking, I mean, what the hell is that? And they actually taste all right. But what the hell, man? I mean, what is that? But I had a chicken breast. A bone chicken breast. What is it? You know, like you go to freaking Popeyes or Church's or KFC, you got the drumstick and the other thing. I think it's a chicken breast, right? With a bone in it. So I brined all these guys yesterday. Look at this, dude. I mean, what is this? That's not Kentucky Fried style. That's not what happened. It's hey, that's nasty. But my chicken my chicken breast thing is freaking fantastic. So I don't know what I did wrong. Like what is this? What is this? It doesn't taste bad. But it's chicken breast with the bone in it, right, Jill? I mean that's what. Man, hold on. Now I got homes out. We're breaking bread together, everybody. So today was I was smoking some ribs. They're coming out good. I'm gonna because that's, I mean, look here. This Celtic Spirit says that's why I'll stick with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, because that's all people in Ireland ever have. They don't have meat. Okay, all they got potatoes. You know what I'm saying? That's it. They only got potatoes and 4-leaf clovers, and pots of gold. Anyway, so I was sitting there and I was smoking some freaking ribs, which I have on tomorrow. You know, I got them right now, just hanging out, and I'll freaking I'll broil those for like 10 minutes on each side to get that nice caramelized. Oh, it's gonna be good. While I was doing that, I was deep frying these chicken strips. Now, what the hell? I mean, that doesn't look like you get at freaking Popeyes. You know, no one's gonna eat those. I know he wants some chicken, Tony. I know he's like jonesing this guy. He's already had plenty of treats. This guy, he's jonesing. Anyway, and do y'all do any fried chicken? Because man, I really need to do better. And for all the time and energy I put into it, that wasn't, man. It's got to be a way to do fried chicken. I mean, it tasted good, man. I mean, the chicken breast with a bone in it, and I brined them the night before. I had boneless pork loins for Easter and leftovers. Yeah, we had the bunch. Charlotte got a Costco Costco ham. It didn't do that much for me this time. I was like, yeah, I didn't want it, man. It's weird. I mean, I ate a little bit, but it's like, it didn't do it. And usually I like the ham a couple days later, but this time I was just like, nah. Do that freaking brining your chicken is the way to go. So what you do is you take, I don't know, like a gallon of water, a cup of salt, man, put some brown sugar in there too. Oh man. I mean, even these things, they look like crap, but these actually taste good. You know what I'm saying? But I probably won't eat those. I'll probably do. I'll probably bury those next to a tree. Well, my fruit trees. That's what you do, man. As some guy said, bury a chicken next to a fruit tree and just watch it just hum. I decided to do ribs instead of ham. Right on. Yeah. Ribs just crushed. We had some when he came back from Orlando. Yeah, in Orlando, we got some ribs from a local place, Q, here in Alpharetta. And I said, man, I'm gonna learn how to do ribs like these guys, because freaking ribs, they just are good, man. There's no way around. When the ribs are done right, they're freaking fantastic. I'm so disappointed. And so anyway, so I'm learning how to do ribs more and more, but it just takes practice. This is what I tell myself. So I was watching this guy on YouTube, and I'll show you who I'm talking about. This guy, he had a great hold on a second, let me find this guy. Oh man, and he made it so easy. And I was like, man, how come it's so easy for you? But it's not so easy. Like, I'm not dumb. I mean, I'm not bright. I'm just not that. I'm not dumb. How come I can't freaking ever get it right when I do this stuff, man? Drives me up the wall, man. It's like, how come I just can't make it work? Like, I can't do freaking donuts. Nothing I do works when I cook. Hey, yeah, it really bothers me. Let me find this guy real quick. It's like, dude, it's like freaking Homer Simpson trying to put together a grill for Bart. Let me see if I can't find this guy. Deeper shade of soul. Then I want to go in this article from Advisor Perspectives, which I hadn't read yet. So we're going to read it together. Amigos. All right. So this is this guy. Old school fried chicken and deep fryer. So we're going to show this guy here. No, siree, Bob. No, siree. All right, so we're going to show. I don't think the batter is too thick. I just screwed up because I screw up everything. Hey, Pablo. So old school fried chicken. Look at this guy, man. This is old school soul food. Watch this. Oh, mine didn't look like that. No.
Hello, my old school soul food.
Watch this guy. So he even gave me a thumbs up. So he brined his chicken. He put it. So he brined it overnight, which I follow exactly what this guy did. He put it in his little sack. He got some cornstarch in there and some flour. I was like, all right, that's fantastic. And I'm like, that's not what mine looked. Well, of course, I did chicken strips. My chicken strips don't look like that. My fried chicken didn't look like that. I was like, dude, I got the same thing this guy has, the exact same thing. Look at this. Look, what the hell? Look at those. I just want to do good food for once in my life. Nice, crispy, and juicy. Oh, man. I watched some other video on fried chicken. The same. I mean, this guy how to make the best fried chicken. I like her because she's kind of heavy, so that means she knows how to cook it. Oh, right here, air fryer. No, air fryer don't work for me. Right there. So she's heavy in the South. A heavy Southern white lady, she knows how to make fried chicken, which I like. Oh, dude. All right. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep practicing. So frustrating. The biggest loser. Attempt to. Oh, I may be wrong. Interesting. That's interesting. The temp too hot, because it says 340 on my operator era, of course. Oh, dude, fried chicken kicks it. Dude, I don't care what's better for me. No, we're not. No. I don't care what's better for me. Fried chicken is like nothing better, dude. Fried chicken with sweet corn with salted butter melted on there. Oh. Look, I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't drink caffeine. You know what I'm saying? I've a long time given up a lot of my peccadillos. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I will not give up is fried chicken. And if I can learn how to make it, enough. Right now. I'm going to put you in your crate. Enough. Watch Meat Church, Josh. Dude will hook you. Ooh, okay. What's this guy? Watch Meat Church. Okay. Let's go watch Meat Church. Meat Church. Oh, fried eggs. Charlotte try to make some griddle fajitas. You kidding me? Oh, Meat Church. Is it a woman or is it a man? Because a woman, I might have to. All right. Well, I'm not, and I don't fly this direction, but I might be willing to go that direction if he can make me learn how to make good fried chicken. I'm open to any kind of experiments. You know what I'm saying? Oh, crispy Korean. Oh man. Yeah, I watched this guy, Cowboy Kent Collins, and he made this freaking mozzarella recipe, mozzarella sticks. Like, dude, that's gonna be awesome. But I know I'm gonna screw it up, dude. It's gonna be screwed up. Oh, had filet mignon. See, filet mignon doesn't. I like filet. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna turn it down, but yeah, roasted potatoes, corn. Oh, dude, 100% bread. All right, meat church. That's Fred. You're the man. Bake your chicken. How dare you? One of the joys of being retired. Yeah, and debt free. All right. Low and yeah. So what I did is I like that 3-2-1 thing. 3 hours on the grill on the smoker, 2 hours in tinfoil, and then an hour off the tinfoil where you put your for the last 20 minutes or so you put your barbecue sauce on there. So that's what I'm trying here now. And so what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to use the last hour because I was a guy I talked to one of my clients actually. He said he did 24 hours of smoking. I said I'm not sure 24 hours of smoking on a Traeger. I said I don't know, man. That just seems I don't know. I mean, y'all ever done that 24 hours of smoking on a do your fried chicken in cast iron frying pans, but it doesn't go everywhere. Yes, yes, 100%, Fred. Mine got. See, that's my concern. Yeah, see, I hate that. So what I did, so the last time I did ribs, 2 times ago I did ribs, I got dry too. So what I did this time, and I didn't even do it in tinfoil last time, is I just put a bucket of water in there, like a glass one of those. You're gonna go to the crate. Enough right now, Pablo. Enough. You've, um, I put one of those pellets, whatever they're called, glass things, filled the water in there. And that kept them a little bit more moist, that's for sure. But they still were still kind of dry. When they forced grills to electric, yeah, that's it. World is over. Yeah, yeah. I like my Traeger. It's electric, but yeah, fried chicken and cast iron. I have a cast iron. When you wrap, when you wrap, use butter and apple cinnamon. Ooh, I use a Rectech. Pyrex, that's it, Pam. Pyrex, yes, that's it. A Rectech. Use butter. Oh man, I think that's a great idea. So the question I got then, Fred, is tomorrow because they've been off. They've been off now. So I'm going to put them in the fridge overnight, and then I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to put them on for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Just to get them because they're good. They're cooked now. They're good. I just want to get the last hour, 45 minutes to an hour, just get nice and tight, with the barbecue sauce, just all kicking in there. I don't know how it's going to work, man. It's all an experiment. It's all experiment. But the problem is I'm kind of lazy. So when I'm experimenting, I don't like to, I like to work. And if and one of these days, I like to be able to cook donuts and I hate cleaning up. Anyway, we're going to talk about long smoking ribs. Long smoking ribs. So I talked to this guy today, a couple up in New York who crush. They're moving to Florida at the end of the spring or something like that, a couple months. Dude, they're going to save immediately on taxes. They're going to save. So they're still going to work. They're going to work from home. So no, Pablo just like, I know you got food up there, Dad. I said, yeah, but dude, no. Pablo's got to lose some weight. That's the issue. He's overweight, man. It's not healthy. Anyway, so they're going to they're moving to Florida from New York, and immediately they're going to save $15,000 in taxes. $15,000. So yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I mean, look, I know Jamie Dimon. He kissed my big fat behind. He's just an idiot. I mean, there's no other way around that. But the government's going to do what's going to do, man. There's nothing you can do about it. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'm over getting worried about it. Just do what you got to do. That's why I can't. Oh, smoked briskets. Yeah, that's what it was. Last time I smoked my brisket dry. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I bought it from Porter Road up in Nashville, Tennessee. They had a great sale. Anyway, so the government's going to do what they're going to do. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I care. I don't want them to seize our property for stupid climate change. But so I have it, yeah, right here. I don't think I have it on here. Hold on a second. Uh, well, this is the thing. This is positive. Let me show you this real quick. Burn ends. Oh my goodness, dude. Right on, Bruce or Carl. Burn ends. Oh. When in doubt, whip it out. I'm hoping. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I hope it's not your private area there, Dwayne. When in doubt, whip it out. Yeah, I don't know what you guys do up there, but down here it's not kind. We don't take kindly to people whipping it out. Anyway, so this is a positive note. The SVB collapse is hurting climate tech startup. I was like, sweet, because I hate climate tech. I hate it. It's all fraudulent. It's all freaking. It's all government and shenanigans. Apparently, the SVB collapse has shaken the market, leading to increased due diligence. What? Climate tech startups face massive hole after Silicon Valley Bank collapses. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. SVB did play this really essential role in the ecosystem because they're willing to take on technologically perceived riskier types of clients than maybe the bigger 4 or so banks were willing to mess around with. Yeah, that's why they went kaput. These tend to be smaller companies, small accounts with high risk premiums. Yeah, you think? And climate tech companies still have options to raise capital through equity and debt, though overall it'll be likely harder for companies to get funding. That's what I'm talking about. In this case, surely increased due diligence is a good thing. Yep. That's fantastic. I saw this other article here on what's up with that. Let's go to the homepage. That was another. Oh boy, I was going to show you something real quick. Right here, check this out. There's a guy in Australia who said, Australia is awesome on my YouTube channel. You know, you're so much richer than you guys in America, Australia and Canada, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, you're run by Nazis, but whatever. But this cracks me up. Last winter, during a low wind deep freeze, the Aussie East Coast suffered blackouts and energy shortages. This year, they'll face the same with 1,200 megawatt less capacity. I mean, what is it? Is that 1,000 megawatts, a gigawatt, a gigawatt? I think so. Anyway, 1,200 megawatts less capacity. A perfect storm of delayed energy projects and the closure of the country's oldest power plant in 18 days has presented a massive future supply problem, which even the state's new energy minister says she is concerned about. The closure of the Hunter Valley's Little coal-fired power station on April 28th will remove 1,200 megawatts of electricity from the grid. I think that's New South Wales is facing serious energy challenges in the upcoming years. Sucks to be you. I got no. I mean, you guys voted for this crap, dude. A Labor government ordering workers to commit to a suicide mission to continue operating such a plant could also be seen as a serious betrayal of the working class constituency they're meant to represent. Screw them. You guys voted for that crap. It sucks for you, man. I don't, but I'm not, Fred, I get it, but I like it when it comes out right the first time. You know, I know you got to practice. I watched this one lady, her name was Pepper something, another heavy lady from Louisiana. She's fantastic. She does Ninja Foodies. And she said she experimented like 30 times on this one chicken recipe. I was like, you got patience, man. So check this out. Anyway, that's good. I mean, hey, early indications this winter could be very cold for Australia. Snow has been dusting the Australian Alps this year since February, which is normally our hottest summer month. When bitterly cold winter weather systems thrust up, Australia can experience nighttime temperatures below freezing. And all I got to say is thank goodness we got lots of wind and solar. That really helps us out if we encounter another prolonged event. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to laugh at Australia. Now, they'll laugh at us. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to laugh at them. I was going to show you something else here. Because this right here was right here. Yeah. I'm going to show you. I think I took it off. Because this is my issue I have more than anything. This is my issue I have more than anything. This is what they want. Biden's gift to the climate movement, a deep economic recession, 100%. As key economic indicators redline, Greens who believe the key to addressing climate change is economic degrowth might be about to get their wish. U.S. bank lending contracted by the most on record in the last 2 weeks of March, indicating a tightening of credit conditions in the wake of several high-profile bank collapses. Commercial bank lending dropped by nearly $105 billion. The pullback in total lending in the last half of March was broad and include fewer real estate loans as well as commercial and industrial loans. The banking crisis has made a recession more likely. Yep. Why am I talking about the risk of an imminent recession? My concern is so much what Biden has done to date to make things worse. And as inflation wrote, Biden passed the Inflation Reduction Act, pouring fuel on the inflation fire. All right. Actually, this one right here. At every economic inflection point, the Biden administration has been short-term and reactive rather than strategic. The decision to drain just under half the strategic oil reserve without doing anything substantial to improve U.S. oil production and energy security. It's not too late if the U.S. government pulled back on excessive spending, stopped sucking bond markets dry with their debt-funded climate extravaganzas, and did everything to ease the restriction on drilling, to lower the cost of energy and diffuse the ticking inflation time bomb. Confidence would be restored, but otherwise, it's going to be a recession, a deep one potentially too, and that's what the climateistas want. They want us living like it was in 1890. Do people not know how many products have come along because of petroleum that we did not have in the 1800s? Everyone looks at the 1800s as freaking idyllic. No, it wasn't. There's like 5,000 or 6,000 products we use on a regular basis daily. They're based on petroleum. Petroleum in of itself doesn't provide electricity, refinery and all that stuff does. But the petroleum for asphalt, petroleum for everything. Solar panels, for instance, petroleum for everything. It's insane how much petroleum is used in our society. And it's nuts actually. And I just sit there and I think, so the only reason the Greens are good, what they want an economic decline. They're happy when there's no more economic progress. They will still be able to fly. They'll still have everything. They'll get their stuff shipped in from whatever that expensive Japanese meat is. They'll still get, but I won't. Freaking Denise, and both you and Marie, how dare you? Yeah, I think that's what's happened. A big fat UBI, 100%, dude. Because we know for a fact they're getting rid of a lot of the entry level jobs anyway. McDonald's, fast food chains, where a lot of people started off, their careers working fast food, assembly line plants. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that at R.R. Donnelley, freaking bookbinding. A lot of these jobs are being replaced by automation, and which means a lot of low level, entry level people aren't going to get jobs, and they'll go on UBI instead. And they don't spend much, It is what it is, man. Oh, I did catch it, Denise. How dare you? Rubber, 100%. The list of petroleum products is through the roof. I think it was even with some antibiotics or something, I can't remember. Something in the medical industry, I forgot what it was. I don't care if it's vaccines because I'm anti-vax, but your tardiness has been noted. Denise, you missed me. Yeah, I had a guy. Actually, it's funny. When I first moved to Virginia, when we moved from Harrisonburg, salted. Yeah, Louise. Yes, that's her. Louise, the salted pepper. I love Louise. Look, dude, if you're going to be a chef and you're skinny as a bone, I don't want to hear it. I need you to have some weight on them bones. You know what I'm saying? Because that means I know you eat your cooking. There's a preppy guy, a preppy cook, forgot his name, preppy chef. And I like him a lot, but he's too skinny. I'm like, dude, you don't eat your stuff, man. You don't eat your stuff, dude. You're too skinny. And I like his recipes, but I was like, nah, dude. What? What? There you go, Big Bear. All right. So let's go to this article. Never trust a skinny cook. Exactly. A lot of people say never trust a poor financial advisor. See, I disagree with that. Do you really want your financial advisor driving fancy schmancy cars, flying private planes? You really want that? I was just for the record. I was working at some firm up in Tennessee, and they just got bought out by a guy. I'm not gonna say his name, and he used to fly. He'd fly all around his country, fancy schmancy car and plane, all this. And he was, acquiring all these various firms. And I think these are called roll-ups. And I said, man, anyway, I told you the story before. I tell it again. I had this husband and his wife, and he was Vietnam. This is when I didn't live, I worked in Kingsport, Tennessee. And husband and wife came in my office one time. And he was he was in Vietnam, an Agent Orange sufferer. So he wasn't long for the world with Agent Orange. He probably had. I mean, he wasn't dying right then, but he was suffering from Agent Orange. Freaking scumbags! I just can't believe how much he used to fall for the government lies. It's insane. Anyway, and so he wanted to make sure his wife was taken care of. And they had $300,000, and that's it. And they had their house paid off, but $300,000. They didn't spend money. They're just good, salted earth American people, in the in the Appalachians. Anyway, and I'll never forget they're paying like 2.1 fee or something like that on $300,000. And I'll never ever forget. So I met with these guys, and like the next day, this guy flew in from where the hell he came from, hell, to talk about how he can't wait to do all this for our business. We're gonna make money, and it's all about making money. Nothing about the client. I just never forget. I said, something. If this guy, my Agent Orange Vietnam vet guy, if we suffer another 2008, this guy's cooked. He's done. He'll never get his money back. He'll never get refund of his fees. But the guy flying his private plane, he'll still fly his private plane. That guy's no worse for the wear. I said, there's something wrong here. Where a guy, goes to Vietnam as a grunt, suffers Agent Orange. He's going to die early. He's only got $300,000 to his name, and he's paying 2.1% fee. And the rich guy gets to fly around all over the place. And he didn't do crap. He didn't go to Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget. Yeah, I know that cow. Look, he's staring at you. Why, Cheryl? He's staring at me because he knows I have this chicken. He's like, eat more chicken. I can't believe that is supposed to be a chicken freaking. I'm so pissed. What happened, Penelope, with the guy? I quit. I left. I couldn't tell you. I mean, they're actually nice. They weren't bad people in terms of the owners. They were actually good people. It's just the business model was so corrupt that people say never trust a poor financial advisor. I'm like, okay, so trust a rich financial advisor? He's getting paid off your money. Yeah, I didn't like it. They used to Merrill Lynch, the brokerage in it. So it used to be E-Trade a long time ago when it first came along. They had wiser financial advisor living. So it's like this wealthy financial advisor, hoity-toity, with a freaking smoking hot blonde head wife. Living in this fancy schmancy mansion with his freaking whatever cars people. I don't know. It wasn't a 2003 Toyota Camry this guy was driving. And the guy says, "Why is your financial advisor so rich and you're not?" That was a good. And anyway, the industry made E-Trade take that advertisement down because they said it was misleading. But it was okay. It might have been misleading, but doesn't mean it's not true. Yeah, he's like, Josh, pick my nose, pick. Yeah. Did he die diving? Do we ever figure out what happened to him, Kirk? I mean, I looked him up on LinkedIn, like you said. He was a good-looking guy. Nothing. I mean, he looked healthy. Did he die scuba diving? Is that what did him in? All right. So we're wants to rate tailpipe. It's crazy. Whoa. Amazon Fresh Store was under construction for only to stop and walk away from the project. Only to stop and walk from the project. They left it with dirt floors. Now I get oosh. Yeah, dude, we have tons of stories about that right there. I'll never forget one time I was working at a credit union. And we had this guy come in, an older guy, dirty t-shirt, dirty jeans, smelled, and he's just a farmer. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget that guy. And guy had freaking money, because he was part of the DFA, Dairy Farmers of America. And what happened? I can't remember the whole story behind it, but the poultry farmers were getting spanked because there's no money in poultry. But for some reason, the DFA was able to. I don't know what happened, but he sold his land. He didn't sell his land, but he was able to. He had shares in DFA, and they got bought out or something like that. He had a couple $1 million. You never would have thought that, man. He came in stinking. I mean, because this is Shenandoah Valley. You got these Mennonite farmers who are literally just off the tractor, and he stunk, but he's a great guy, and he liked me because I gave him the time of day. Left Fidelity, suits, ties, Mertz, Beamer. I may have funded a few. Yeah, dirt is fresh, 100%. Medical issues. Oh yes. All right. I'm sorry to hear that, Kirk. That sucks, man. Oh man, I tell you, so I'm talking to these people that are moving to Florida. I said, dude, I don't know if I can handle the freaking heat all the time, but I tell you, man. So they're 15 minutes from the beach. They overlook like a state park, and not a crazy expensive house. They're not cheap, but certainly not 7 figures. And I said, man, you could put a freaking citrus tree in your backyard. I mean, think about it. State park right here, a beach 15 minutes that way, a citrus tree in your backyard. It's like, I'm not a little place where dogs to run around. You know what I'm saying? They got walking trails. I said, man, I don't know, man. That sounds. Let's check out Rumble. No one's on Rumble, huh? All right. That sounds freaking heavenly to me, man. I was like, dude, Denise, you ever had a fresh citrus? Hey, James. Nah, drink a Bud Light. Yes, I am. It's a buble. Buble. You ever had a fresh orange or a grapefruit from your backyard? Dude, what do you guys? Oh, Fanny, what you got? There is nothing better, man. Oh, man. Look at James's picture of that pup. There's nothing better than going. I just don't. James, you're in Florida, aren't you? I don't know if I could. I just like the fall, dude. The fall just, man, it makes me. I don't know if I could be down there with no fall. No, you guys really, for real, think I'm drinking a beer? Oh, dude. 525.97, baby. Remember, no such thing as one beer. All right. So let's jump in this article. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I could deal with that, man. Panama isn't bad. South Florida gets cold up here. Southwest and Southeast Florida. I don't know. Like Cocoa Beach looks like it was. I mean, at least the week we were there is 10 degrees colder than Orlando. I don't know if that's typical or not, but my husband had a tenant back who looked very poor. Just never 100%. That's why you can't judge a book. It's crazy. All right, let's see what this guy says about. If you guys want to keep saying stuff about Florida, I don't know. I don't think I can handle it. I just don't think I need to have the fall. That's the issue. I need to have the fall. All right, so this is my man Michael Leibowitz, and his last name's Lebowitz, so we know he knows about money. All right, he knows how to manage money because his last name's Lebowitz. And if any of you guys are offended by that, I don't know what to tell you. I think that's pretty funny. I have not read this article, but I like this guy. All right, Michael Lebowitz. So we're gonna see what I have to say. There will be 260 Fed meetings between the issuance and maturity of a 30-year Treasury bond. That is 260 times when the Fed raises, lowers, or does nothing with its Fed funds rate. See, I like the way this guy thinks. So a 30-year bond, amigos. Vero Beach. That's where my uncle moved. They moved to Vero Beach. My uncle John and Aunt Linda. I freaking love those guys. Mom and Pop lived in Boca Raton. Had a great. Oh man. No, 1%. Yeah, I just want Republicans need to learn how to 100%. We gotta no. So anyway, did you hear what he said? There will be 260 meetings between the issuance of a 30-year bond and its maturity. Why should a 30-year bondholder care what the Fed does at the next meeting or the following few meetings? Dude, freaking right on, Michael Leibowitz. I asked a question because I get many inquiries from potential bond investors on whether they should buy bills, notes, or bonds based solely on expected Fed policy. Many inquiries are concerned about buying bonds too soon because they fear the Fed may still raise rates once or twice. Oh my goodness. If they raise rates, the bond's going to go kaput. They will lose value. I'm going to come out here real quick. I play basketball with my kids. I was all over the place today. Walked 5 miles, played basketball with Liam, who beat me again 4 straight times. I used to be able to shoot over him. I can't anymore because he's a little bit taller than me now. Freaking just old man. I'm just an old crusty man. Hey, there we go. All right. Hey, cracking. I'm glad you're here. We got a couple loyal persons on Rumble. Cracking, eggs, tweet. Are you a chick or are you a guy? They're cracking. I always got a feeling you're a chick because cracking eggs, tweet seems like a chick thing. I was just going out to close my door, starting to get a little bit chilly. It looks like my Wi-Fi isn't working good. Is it working good? Biomass plants that power Fort Drum will close in weeks. What? Are you up there, Cheryl? Look at Cheryl. Hey, big smile. Are you up in Watertown? Well, biomass, and biomass is green too. My mom's neighbor had orange trees. The one across here had lemons. All neighbors. Oh, dude. I read your book, The Tax Mom. I work primarily teachers with pensions and typically get half their spouse's Social Security. I told my firm about provisionary income. And they took me for a fool. They said I was worrying about nothing, but I was adamant about the fact we can maximize their return. Somebody allocate. Well, dude, you're kicking ass, Sergio. Your firm can kiss my big fat behind. The problem is if they're working with a bunch of teachers, they're going to be affected by WEP. And if you're Sergio Jimenez, sounds like you're in Texas. You're probably in the South or something like that with your name. If you're in Texas, Georgia. I don't think Virginia is anymore, but there's a number of states where teachers, Texas in particularly, where they don't pay into Social Security. It's county specific, and as such, they don't have to. There is no provisional income because they're going to get hit with a WEP and then the GPO. It's freaking. Hey, Loudy, man, we keep doing what you're doing, Sergio, because these guys are fools. Hey, big mouth, biggie bigs. All right, let's keep reading what Michael Leibowitz has to say. You guys want to see something funny? Look at this. See, there's Pablo. He's like, Pablo, play with me. Charlotte is at. You can hop up there with him. There you go. Just hop up. No, just hop up there with him. You can hop up in the chair. We're not supposed to have the dogs in chairs, but all right, dude, kill me, buddy. Come on. Hold on a second, everybody. There, yes. No, just look. Dude, if that's not the cutest thing ever, I don't know what it is. All right, but hold on a second. Would you stop? Stop. Okay, we get it. Okay, good. I'm sure I'm gonna end up giving him a treat. Just the way I roll. I'm such a sucker. Can't make food. Can't beat my kid in basketball. Freaking dogs take advantage of me. Yeah, Texas. Yeah, San Antonio, man. 100%. So you got to look at WEP. What are you doing, baby? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Dogs are so stupid. What are you doing? So windfall elimination provision, Sergio, that's what you got to understand in the GPO, the government pension offset. The WEP and the GPO are punishments to the teachers in Texas in particular, because Texas teachers' pensions aren't very good. And as such, they won't get spousal benefits most likely on the Social Security because they don't pay into the Social Security system. And they will not get any survivor benefits on Social Security because GPO kicks in. It's freaking wrong, dog. Hey, my man David on LinkedIn again. Right on. Look at that. Too much soy, Josh. I thought 30 states now have teachers paying us. Yeah, I think it's more than that. I think Indiana. Is Jill on here? Is Indiana teachers? Yeah, right here. So right here. Not all teachers in Texas. It depends on the county. I think Austin, they do pay into Social Security. But TRS, and the thing with TRS, well, it's not windfall provision. It's members windfall elimination provision. I guess you could say the same thing. I'm thinking this government pension offset, GPO and WEP. And the teachers' pensions in Texas suck, and they don't really even get a cost of living adjustment. It sucks, dude. There's no other way around it. And the Republicans, again, they're so freaking idiotic. There's a hey, dude, look at my man Jeremy reading Tom Collins' book. Dude, you're freaking awesome. See, dude, Jeremy's 35 years old. He's from Maine. He's in the Army. So inherently, he's got to be dumb as rocks, right? Because he's young, he's from Maine, and he's in the Army. Oh, he's in the Army National Guard Reserve. But here he is reading Thomas Collins' Vaccines Autoimmunity book. Are you guys doing that? And I bet you're older than 35. You're not in the Army, and you're not from Maine. So inherently, you have a smarter brain on your head than Jeremy does. And yet he's ahead of you guys. What's up with that? Come on. All right, so let's keep going back. Let's keep going here to my man, Michael Leibowitz, something like that. Let me find it. All right. So while the Fed is an important variable in the performance of bills, notes, and bonds, its actions significantly impact shorter-term bills and have less influence on longer-term notes and bonds. I could not agree more, Michael Leibowitz. To better appreciate what drives yields across a spectrum of Treasury securities, I share some evidence on which factors influence bills, notes, and bonds. All right. Come on up. Come on. There we go. Look at him. Look at the big old baby. Oh, give me those. Give me those. Yes. Give those antidotes. Oh, Bob wants some too. All right, hold on a second. Come here, Pops. You want to get some antidotes too? Look, Benny, look who it is. Can you see yourself? Oh, can you see yourself? Oh, there it goes. All right. Let's keep going. Oh, there he comes back. He's on this side now. No. Oh, boy. I've lost all control. See, you guys don't even want, you just want the chicken. I thought you loved me, dogs. All right. Before moving on, it's worth a quick review of what constitutes bills, notes, and bonds. Bills encompass short-term stuff, 1 year or less. Bonds usually 5 years or so. Our notes right here. Notes pay coupons. Let's see if it's going on. Okay. All right. Let's see. The shorter the bond term, the greater its yield is influenced by the Federal Reserve. Therefore, the most significant factor is the Fed if you are considering anything between 1 month or 6 month bill. I didn't even say a year. All right. The graph below shows that the 3 month the 3 month Treasury bill yields are nearly perfectly correlated with the average Fed funds rate. Oops. So just remember that. I completely 100% agree with Michael Leibowitz is that if you're worried about the government raising rates, your long bonds, it doesn't matter. And that's why you can see that the 30-year Treasury is at 3.75. All right. For short-term investors, the most critical factor in deciding which maturity bills to buy is your expectation of monetary policy. Okay, so who cares about that? Let's keep going. Long-term notes. Unlike bills, notes and bonds better reflect longer-term economic and inflation expectations. All right. So let's stop for the quiz time. So if long-term bonds better reflect economic expectations and the long-term bonds are not trading very high as relative to yield, so the price of the bonds are trading high, the yields are low. All right. So remember, bonds are a seesaw. Price, yield. The higher the price, the lower the yield. The higher the yield, the lower the price. So right now, yields are freaking in the dirt. A 30-year bond is what, 3.25, 3.5, 3.75 basis points. So what is that implication of the economic structure of our economy if the long bonds are paying less than 4? All right. So I heard that, John. That's freaking nuts. Dude, we got the Pope is insane. Dalai Lama is insane. Is there anyone that's not insane? All right, so one, I'm going to quiz you now. Put 1 in the comments if you think the long bonds with the low yields means we should have high economic forecast for growth. All right, low yields lead to high economic forecast for growth. Put a 1 in there. Put a 2 in there if you think the low yields mean low economic forecast for growth. So 1 equals high growth forecast because the bonds yields are low. 2, because the bonds yields are low, we have low economic forecast for growth. Let's see what you got here, because this is actually pretty important. All right, let's keep going. Because remember, the Fed doesn't control the long-term rates. Supply and demand controls long-term rates. The Fed controls the short-term rates. Short-term rates are way high. Long-term rates have not, they've gone down. They're consistently well below. I mean, literally, I said, we've never been like this before. There's never been an inverted yield curve like we have right now. It's insanity. And I should tell you something. I don't want to give away the store. So remember, 1, low yields, we expect high economic growth. 2, low yields means you expect low economic growth. And this isn't because of stupid Fed. This is because of market. And if we trust the market, and we should, the market is, a million different individuals buying up their, saying what they think. Look at it. Yeah, right on. You have to crack some eggs to make an omelet, and that's what I think Trump did by tweeting. Cracking eggs, tweet. Okay, gotcha. All right. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, you guys are getting it. So we have low, right. All right, well, our 2 Spanish speakers, we got Chalupa. I assume that's Spanish, and Sergio. Oh, boy. Public schools did not do you right, Sergio and Chalupa. Just kidding. I'm playing with it. It's number 2 is the right answer. The reason number 2 is the right answer is because when yields are low, that means the demand for bonds are high. That's it. So when the demand for bonds are high, that inherently makes the yields go down. It makes the price goes up and the yield go down. Why is the demand for bonds high? Not because we expect a significant economic growth. If we expect a significant economic growth, we think we get higher stock returns. And as such, there would be a lower demand for the bonds and a higher demand for stocks. Dude, you got to get out of that funk, man. I did videos, don't buy bonds. I mean, for the first 3 years, probably 4 years of this YouTube channel, I was doing videos, don't buy bonds, don't buy bonds, don't buy bonds. Because the rate of return on bonds are so easy to, hey, my man Josh Wellner from Maine. Yeah, Josh voted for freaking the scumbag governor they got there who's giving away the state to Big Wind, freaking scumbags. Oh, I hate Big Wind. Oh, and I don't just mean my farts. I mean Big Wind from, damn, Jeremy just got laid off? For real? Oh, man, Jeremy. Yeah, exactly, Tina. I used to hate bonds too, 100%. So the issue here is that, I forgot, I lost my train of thought. All right, let's keep going. So what people are buying, what they expect, whether people, I guess I already said that. When people are buying bonds, they do so because they think there's going to be less economic growth, and they're going to have more safety, if you will, in the bonds rather than the stocks. They're saying I'm not going to take as much risk with stocks because I don't expect much economic growth. Part 2 of this now is we have high yields on bonds relative to they were before. Now remember, this is on the short-term stuff. I cannot stress this enough. This is the short-term stuff. All right. The long-term stuff, it isn't high yields. It's still low. I mean, it's high yields relative to was, during stupid, pandemic, but it's low. 3.25, 3.5 to 3.75 across the 5, 10, and 30-year bonds. That's low, dude. That's low. And as such, you're like, why are those bond yields so low? Because people are locking in safety. Well, that's what I was going to say. I think it was Blanchett, actually, Dave Blanchett. He did a, was it Blanchett? I think it was him, maybe him and Wade Fowle. I could have sworn. Well, some guys that I follow. They did a study. The correlation on rates of return on bonds is 95% of its current yield. So if you're getting a 4% current yield on the bond, that is what you're going to get with a 95% probability. Within basically, you'll get 4%. It's literally that simple. So your rate of return on bonds is your current yield. I tell you, I can't tell you how much business I lost when I was arguing on, trying to earn people's money. I said, you can't have all your money in bonds, dude. You're only getting 2 and 3%. And they're like, hell, probably back then it was like 2. I know, man. I got 8% a year last 10 years. It's like you're not getting 8% a year going forward. I guarantee, because all those bonds matured and now they're being replaced with 2% bonds. It's an impossibility. It's just basic math, man. Anyway, as such, people couldn't hear. They just couldn't believe that. They're like, no. I look at my portfolio. I look at my bond mutual fund. It returned 7.5%, 8% a year for the last 10 years. That's my expectation for future returns. And I come and say you're going to get 2.5 to maybe 3 at the outset. And they just I don't believe it. I think you're wrong. There you go. Anyway, crazy. Yeah, but notice these are short-term stuff right here. Yeah, Paul LePage. I know you did, Josh. I'm only goofing you. Bonds are bad. Bonds bad for so long. Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying, that's one of the benefits now of having higher interest rates on the short end side. The problem with the higher interest rates on the short end side, it hasn't been reflected in the longer term side. A little bit. I mean, it's better than 2. Get a 3.5% 10-year Treasury is still better than 2.5%, but it ain't much, dude. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the issue. The interest rates are too low for too long, and as such, it forced people to take more risk than they really should have. All right, let's keep going because it's a pretty good article. And Jeremy, sorry to hear you got laid off, dude. I fell victim to upper management. Jeremy said he fell victim to upper management being negligent with revenue spending. Are they going to bring it back, or they give you severance, or what, brother? That freaking dude, I hate upper management. I shouldn't say I hate upper management. Kiss my ass. Sorry. All right. Let's see. Treasury investors, like all investors, strive to earn a positive return. Such means they should buy assets that provides a positive return after subtracting inflation. Yes, they want to increase their purchasing power. So again, if we had high inflation, why would you buy a long-term bond? I wonder why. Why would you buy a long-term bond in 1982? I wonder why. We had a debate with a guy on this channel who said, but Josh, and he recognized his ways, the error of his ways, and he apologized. He goes, but Josh, inflation was 18%, so you could have bought a 30-year bond at 15.25, but you lost all inflation. I said, no. Inflation went down. Your bond still paid at 15.25. That's the coupon. You freaking made out like a bandit. What's up, Doc? All right. You want to be on the video real quick? Oh, loser. Oh, my kid's freaking. Liam beats you in basketball. Calvin's going to work out. He doesn't want to be on the video. You're a weirdo. I got no. It's over for me. All right. Anyway, so am I still watching this here? All right, cool. All right, so here we go. Given what long-term bond investors seek, they tend to focus more on the economy and inflation and less on what the Fed will do next. 100%. That said, Fed funds are still a significant factor, as shown below. All right. This graph plots the 10-year notes versus the Fed funds. All right. So you can see the Fed funds rate. We got correlation of 75. 0.75%. So a high correlation, a positive correlation, but it's certainly not a 1-for-1. Right here, exactly. The R square of 75 is statistically high, but far from a near perfect correlation. Exactly. So the near perfect correlation would be this right here, right there. That's the 3-month, and the Fed funds rate is basically 1 as a correlation, which means the Fed funds rate goes up 150. The 3-month Treasury bond goes up 150. Here is high correlation, but not a perfect correlation by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, you would even say that correlation, when 1 is a perfect correlation, that's correlated on a positive way, but it's not super duper high. That makes sense. All right. The following 2 plots show that the 10-year yields have a nearly equal strong relationship with the 3-year GDP and inflation trends. There you go. Yes, now our correlation is starting to get that's not a very high correlation, man. It's correlated in a positive direction, but that might be noise more than anything. Anyways, the 10-year Treasury note and 3-year CPI average. That's a lot of divergence there. I think that's nitpicking. I don't agree with that at all. To say the 3-year GDP and inflation trends is highly correlated with the 10-year Treasury yields. That's not good. Knowledge, yeah. Look at that divergence here, man. All over the place. I mean, the trend line is such, but that's no. Yield graphs right here. The graph below compares a 3-month T-bill and a 10-month notes and their moving averages. All right, so here we go in the 80s right here. And again, we could have bought the, it doesn't have the 30-year, but you had a 10-year right there at 16, 15 and a half right there. You could have locked in for 10 years at 15 and a half in 1982. You could have locked in 30 years at 15 and a quarter in 1982, but very few people are doing that. Yield curve, 3 months, a treasury bill, 10-year. I'm not sure what this is showing here. Both securities trend in the same direction. The change in the yield difference over time is volatile. The highlight better, I show below the 3-month over 10-year treasury. Okay, gotcha. The curve is the difference between the two yields. Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, no. Like, oh, dude, this is a great freaking chart. All right, so let me show you what's happening here. If it's under 0, that means the 10-year treasury is yielding less than the 3-month bond. We had that happen in 2000 after freaking, supposedly the Muslim terrorist attacks, which I don't believe anymore. We had it happen in a global financial recession right here, and we have it happen here. Now, people will say, but Josh, look, this one is worse than that. Oh, no. Here's the 7. This is Paul Volcker right here. And look, we started in 1979. Don't forget, Paul Volcker was the head of the Federal Reserve of the New York Fed before he was president of the New York Fed before he became the head of the Fed Reserve Bank board. But anyway, so they were raising rates like crazy. No, because what is the 10-year treasury at right here? Is at 3.5. What was the 10-year treasury at right there? It's 15.5. So we had the difference, the upside down, the inverted yield curve was 250 basis points, right? But the 10-year treasury back then was at 15.5. So now we got an inverted yield curve of 150 basis points, but the 10-year treasury is at 3.5. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if you want to use a log in that regard, but if you look at its percentage of the inverted yield curve relative to the 10-year treasury current yield, this right here is the lowest it's ever been, even though everyone will look back at here. But no, because the interest rates are so much higher. I hope that makes sense. I don't think it does. I got no severance pay. I got laid off the same day I got a phone call. Yeah, dude, that freaking sucks, man. What are you going to do next, brother? Nope, it freaking... And let's just put it this way. Jeremy's company, who just laid him off, is a big on... let's just put it this way. They want to push renewables on everybody and have this pipeline for electricity transmission go through virgin forest of Maine all the way down to Massachusetts, because Massachusetts has these pipelines or it has these wind farms out in the ocean that they want, and they're balking on their previous agreement with the state of Massachusetts, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, on the price they were willing to pay for electricity, and the whole thing's a clusterfuck. Let's just put it that way. And yet Jeremy gets laid off. Oh, that has nothing to do with Big Green. Yeah, it does, dude. Big Green just cost Jeremy his job. They can all kiss my big fat behind. Because I know the company works for, and I know what they freaking do. And they're pushing climate change all over the place. They want this freaking renewable. They want to take Quebec, have these massive transmission lines or distribution lines, whatever. I think it's transmission lines from Quebec with their hydro down through beautiful, beautiful Maine into Massachusetts, because Massachusetts is supposed to be net zero by 2030. And Massachusetts is run by a bunch of commie fools. Can't happen. And Massachusetts also wants to put all these wind farms out in the friggin' sea to kill whales, to kill dolphins, kill bald eagles, the whole thing. And yet Massachusetts is starting to renege on what they're allowing for because it costs so damn much, and they're not going to get the amount of electricity they want. It's literally going to fall apart. It's impossible. See, here's the thing, my friends. It's once they finally wake up, it's too late. You can't just turn around and ramp up a coal-fired plant if everyone's been laid off. The baseline electricity generation, you have to have a baseline. And if you're getting rid of fossil fuels, you're not going to have a baseline. Your baseline is from intermittent, from wind and freaking solar and biomass. I mean, freaking idiotic. It's stupid. So they're all going to wake up one day and say, "Ooh, we went a bridge too far." And they're going to turn around. They're going to blame people for making this up. No one's going to be held accountable. It might be some local freaking, I don't know, guy who ran freaking Northeastern Maine energy green structure thing, but it won't be the big guys. And yet you're the one's going to freeze, not me, because I'm in the South. You're going to freeze because you have no electricity, and you had to go on your freaking stupid heat pump. You got rid of your wind freaking your wind fire, your wind stove, wood stoves. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, your car's all electric. How are you going to run that car on electricity? Well, you need electricity to run the car. Price of electricity, like Obama said, inherently is going to go skyrocket high. It just, everyone can see this a mile away. It's not going to end nicely, dude. I feel like Jeremiah screaming out to freaking for the Judah, you let Nebuchadnezzar take over. God wants Nebuchadnezzar to take over. Let him happen. And the freaking king Zedekiah is like, no, man, no, I'm going to join up with Egypt. And Jeremiah's like, no, you'll get killed. Don't do that. And what they do to Zedekiah? They poked his eyes out and they tied him up, and he died in the freaking prison as he watched all his family get killed in front of him. Anyway, it's insane, man. It's insane what's happening. And people just like, they'll fix it. I'm like, how? You're going to take off grid all these electricity generation things. It can be hydro. They're taking hydro off grid. Oil, coal. They don't like natural gas. There are no pipelines for natural gas. Under the fake of Big Green. It's insanity, dude. And it's not going to work. And when it doesn't work, you're going to be sitting there at a heat pump. Oh, if I got a heat pump, it's efficient. It works. Good luck with that guy. Nuts. And that's what freaking Jeremy's company is. They all scumbags. Because they all get paid, dude. They all get paid by big government. Say, oh, no, we're going to pay you. The freaking world. I was just reading today about Vietnam. Something that we're involved in, the World Bank or something. What the World Bank? I can't remember what it was. We're going to Vietnam, telling the big banks in Vietnam not to lend to fossil fuel development companies. In Vietnam, we are the evil empire, my friends. I know it's painful to say. You and I aren't. Our government is the evil empire. There's no other way around. If you're going to go to Vietnam, has massive tuberculosis, massive starvation, massive people in poverty, and say, we don't want you to lend to fossil fuel development companies to increase electricity generation in Vietnam, you are a freaking evil scumbag. And you are an evil empire. That's all there is to it. You are the evil empire. Our country is the evil empire. There's no other way around that. Because we're going around telling these people they have to go green. And you're like, but we're Vietnam. Yeah, no, it's all right, go green. But we need electricity right now because our people are dying from tuberculosis, because tuberculosis is in your lungs and it destroys you because you have to breathe cow dung in, because you're lighting your freaking heat in your house and heating your food with cow dung and wood, and not very well ventilated, if at all. Anyway. Well, yeah, because you live in Indiana. They're trying to ban gas pumps or gas furnaces. It's insane. Oh, it's going to get much worse, dude. There's no other way around that. It's not going to be Mad Max dystopia. It's just going to be things going to be incredibly expensive, because the cost of power, electricity, is going to be incredibly expensive, just like Obama promised. And the thing is, even if we reduce our CO2 to nothing, China and India is like, screw you guys. That's crazy. All right, let's keep going back. Oops, wrong one. Put my son down there. I hear him freaking pushing up that iron. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so here we can see right here, 2020 pandemic, global financial crisis, terrorism, and then this insanity of 73, 74. And that's the OPEC, and then whatever happened in the late 70s because of insanity, insanity run wild. All right. So having this much of an inverted yield curve is not very common. In fact, when you actually look at it in terms of raw percentages, it's never been like this ever. Keep going. I hope this is your aha moment. When buying a bill, note, or bond, the bet is on the Fed, but note and bond investors care about future economic trends. The sharp gyrations in the graph above make that abundantly clear. All right. The yield curve is currently inverted by 1.47%, 147 basis points. 10-year investors are willing to sacrifice 1.5% versus what they could earn on a 3-month treasury bill. Yes. They make such an investment because they believe economic growth and inflation will be slower than it is today, 100%. Or that, which leads to a combination of that leading to low stock returns. They're saying, I will forego 147 basis points on short-term debt to lock in long-term debt at 3.5 because I don't expect the stock market to pull me out of this anymore. I don't, or else I would be in stocks because the inverted yield curve is so low. I'm willing to gamble on the low 10-year treasury because I think the rates will go down in the short term, and on top of that, the stock market doesn't look very appealing. As such, they're comfortable locking in 3.35 for 10 years and passing up the opportunity to buy bills and make more for the next few months, but possibly a lot less for the next 9 years. Furthermore, if long bond investors are correct, the price of notes and bonds will appreciate much more than short term. 100%. This is what I'm saying. If the 2 and 10-year notes rates decline by 2%, the 2-year note investor could see their price rise by about 3.75. 10-year investors should expect a 17% gain. That's what I've been saying for 6 months now. Do you not hear that? Not only are you locking in 3.5 or so on the 10-year treasury with no downside risk other than the American government can't pay its bills, whatever. But if the rates go down, which they're going to, you're locking in more upside appreciation because as rates go down, the prices go up on the bond that you already own. I think the economy and inflation will revert to pre-pandemic trends. That means GDP and CPI will be at 2%. I completely 100% agree. As a result, Treasury note and bond yields will fall to similar yields. I like locking in yields well above those rates for 10 years or more. If correct, I may monetize a yield decline and reinvest in the funds, and riskier, in this guy, I would do stocks 100%. As rates start going down, you sell some of your bonds, take the long-term capital gain and reinvest in stocks that most likely have gone down too. The timing of such a trade may not be perfect. Still, in a disinflationary and slowing economic growth environment, the long-term benefits of owning notes or bonds versus bills outweighs short-term price volatility. Yep, I completely agree with that. Let's see what kind of comments we got here. All right, 1 second. I 100% agree with that guy's assessment. That guy. So I'm a big fan of Michael Leibowitz. Let's see what some of the comments are. Only one comment. Personally, I'm hoping that even if a recession is triggered, the central banks will not cut their rates so extremely. Well, it doesn't matter what the central bank does. It matters what long-term investors feel. And if long-term investors feel that inflation or low growth is here for the long term, they're going to be buying up bonds more and more, which means what? Which means the price of the bonds will go up and the yields will go down even more. I'm not in any way a financial professional. When I start hearing about reading some points of view is likely gaining traction elsewhere, what I've been reading is a growing understanding that our recent super low interest rates have done us harm by allowing zombie businesses to continue instead of reallocating. Japan, anybody? Japan? I'm hoping the governments will start paying more attention to asset price inflation. All right. Okay, but the facts are the federal government, the Federal Reserve doesn't control long bonds. I hope you guys, look, I might be wrong. Again, I talk about this. Yeah, well, much value in going to money markets. I was trying to get an interview with it. By the way, speaking of Wellesley, I was emailing the guy from the Inspire Christian ETFs, and they just kind of dropped the ball. I thought we had I was going to interview them, and they just never got back. I was like, okay, that was kind of weird. If they don't want to interview, that's fine. But it's like that didn't make me feel very good about investing with them. I was like, dude. I said, can you guys do it at this time? No. I said, how about this time? They said, yeah, we can do it. Turns out this guy couldn't do it this time. I said, how about this time? Never heard back. I said, okay. I'm not a huge YouTube channel, but I got 75,000 subscribers. I probably get 20,000 views a day. It's like, dude, I might not be Joe the Toe Rogan, but that's 20,000 people, or at least, a proportion of those watch my videos every day. And they might say, hey, I'd be interested in learning about Inspire mutual funds. Never heard back from Ave Maria funds either. Maybe they don't like my conspiracy stuff. I don't know. But she emailed me back saying, yeah, I want to set up a time for you guys to meet. I was like, okay. A week goes by, and we're like, so I might email him again. Who knows? But I thought that was kind of, I got ghosted. Got ghosted. Anyway, so that's because Wellesley can kiss my big fat behind. Thoughts on inflation adjusted bond? I wouldn't buy inflation adjusted bond funds. No way. I just buy. So I was talking to these people today. They had a perfect portfolio, in my opinion. Well, we talked a year and a half ago. I said, man, I think you guys got to take some risk off the table. And this is going to sound like I'm kissing my own ass. And I don't mean to sound like that, but I am, I guess, because they did. They took some risk off the table, went to a bunch of stable value stuff. They had too much of stable value now, but they missed all the decline of 2022, the bulk of their portfolio. That makes me feel good. You always like to be, hey, I helped with that. That's good. But they have too much money in stable value. So this guy, they're going to take a small mortgage in their Florida house for like $200,000, and they're going to pull $50,000 a year from his IRA to pay that off over 4 years. His wife's still going to work for a couple more years, and then they're going to pay that off in piecemeal over 4 years. Then when the wife stops working, they're going to be on Obamacare essentially and get those subsidies because the wife won't have any income, the mortgage will be paid off, and they can live pretty tight on their Roth IRAs. It's a great plan, 100%, until they're 65 and on Medicare. Oh, anyway, the point being is he had, we talked about, he had like 250,000 in a stable value fund. And that's the money he's going to use to pay off that mortgage, in the next year or so. I got a song by Blue Cheer on my mind. You ever heard Blue Cheer? Oh, guys, freaking kicked ass. Love Blue Cheer. All right, so Eric Clapton was in a band. Derek and the Dominoes was another, not the Yardbirds. I think Eric Clapton and John Mayall too, in the Blues Breakers. But it's another band that Eric Clapton was in, not the Yardbirds. Was Eric Clapton Cream? He wasn't Cream, but it was another. I guess it was like Blue something. Not Derek and the Dominoes. Eric Clapton was another band. I've been thinking about this for a couple of days. I just haven't looked it up. No, I don't think Eric Clapton was in Cream. The Ginger Baker. Jeff Beck. Was that the Yardbirds? Jeff Beck. Is Eric Clapton Cream? Maybe it was. But when Cream is another band. And Ginger Baker, I'm drawing a guy's name, the freaking bassist, the singer. Oh my goodness. Jack Bruce, that's what it was. Oh yeah, dude, Jack Bruce. Yeah, right. I guess right, but I guess it was Eric Clapton. Blue Cheer. Yeah, but that wasn't Eric Clapton. It was so Blue Cheer is another band. Someone was talking about it the other day. I said, oh man, what was that band I forgot about? Yeah. Blue Cheer, freaking good band, man. They'll never have music like they did back then. Yeah, it wasn't Cream though, man. It was another one. Yeah, it is. I mean, dude, they'll never have music like that late 60s, early 70s, ever. It's just, I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. It's crazy. All right, so Jill says, what did we say here? So long story short, so she had like $500,000 in stable value, and we'll call her Whitney. That's my next door neighbor. I just saw Whitney, and I say, hey Whitney, you should take some of that and put into bond fund, a 10-year Treasury bond fund. And she didn't have any available. She had the Fidelity Total Bond Index and a Vanguard International Bond Index. I said, just put the Fidelity Total Bond Index. Remember the Vanguard, the Total Bond Index. Yeah, Avangard, sound freaking scumbags. Do you have to wait 10 years to get paid, or do you get paid every year? If you have a 10-year bond, it has a coupon. It'll pay you, I want to say they pay it quarterly there, UK surfer. Yeah, Avangrid is wants to raise electricity rates in the state of Maine and install these new solar panels. Yeah, they can all kiss my ass. But anyway, so I told her, I said, keep half in stable value and move the other half into, now I can't tell her what to do. I don't do it. I said, this is what I would do. Do whatever you want, but move the other half into a total bond index. The total bond index, remember guys, is about 70% of that's treasury bonds and government agencies. So it's pretty risk averse, if that makes sense. Short-term bond ladder versus short-term mutual funds. I don't think it matters that much, Pam. I mean, a lot of people make an issue like bonds versus funds. It doesn't matter. Yeah, long-term bonds better because long-term bonds you're literally locking in the rate. But short-term, I don't think about it. Sergio says he's buying notes to avoid call risk. Yeah, what I'm saying. I got actually. So I bought a couple months ago FHLB, the Federal Home Loan Bank, for 6% is a bond that, but has a call, the call feature every 6 months. I'm sure that's going to be called away from me, and it sucks. But as a FHLB, a 6% coupon, I snapped that sucker up, man. But I'm sure that'll be called away by end of the year for sure. Going to RIA in the future. They are in my hometown. Hey, right on, man. Oh, from that Lance. I think Lance is over there too. I don't know him. I like their I'm a big fan of Lance and Michael at RIA, Real Investment Advice. Yeah, I like those guys. I like their perspective. I'm like-minded, and that's what's important. That I'm like-minded. Seems many people are thinking current money market. Yeah, I 100%. I don't have my little thing here, but I'm going to show you again. I completely agree. So just remember, guys, here's a 4.75. Here's a 3.4. All right, so let me get Jill's thing out of the way there. This is the inverted yield curve. All right, so this is the short term. This is the long term. It's supposed to be the exact opposite. It's supposed to be 3.4 and 4.75. That's the way it's supposed to be right here. Right. So, but it's not. It's literally inverted. You're supposed to get more reward for the longer time you're tying up your money. All right. So what's going to happen here is there's two things are going to happen. Is that the short-term rates will stay high and the long-term rates will go up. What would cause the long-term rates to go up? I mean, the Fed doesn't raise long-term rates. So the long-term rates are already down. The only way the long-term rates would go up, the only thing I could possibly see, if we have massive economic growth and people are just going hell's bells into stocks and they're selling their bonds, I don't know what else could be unless just a massive sale of government bonds. I mean, maybe as the world goes away from the petrodollar, there could be that, I suppose. But the government bonds, the U.S. government bonds, are still the best game in town, man. I mean, so if you were to sell a 3.5% U.S. government bond, you have to reinvest it in something else. What are you going to reinvest in, a rupee? You know what I mean? Where else are you going to go? I mean, we can say the petrodollar's dying, and I don't have any problem with that. Oh man, my legs are sore. Oh man. But if I'm China, I'm sitting there at $2 trillion. You're going out of U.S. bonds at 3.5%. My alternative is going to be to sell them at a capital loss. Don't forget, they're already down in value. Going out, buddy? What are you doing? Or so I sell them at a capital loss, and then I have to turn around and reinvest it in a less safe portfolio of other government bonds that pay me less. A lot of these guys. I mean, they might pay you more, they're more risky, but that's not a good trade-off, man. I mean, it could happen, I suppose. I don't see it happening, though. And don't forget, the vast majority of our debt is owned by America anyway. So, I mean, even if there's a mass sell-off of Chinese, they only owe like an eighth of our total government. I don't even think it's that. I think Japan, owns most of our bonds for foreign investors. I think Japan owns like a seventh of our outstanding debt, something like that. Not much. I mean, I think of all the debt outstanding, only like a quarter is owned by foreign entities. Something like that. It's certainly not the majority. So even if there's going to be a mass sell-off, I mean, that'd hurt a little bit, but it's not going to drive the price of bonds way down and the yields way up. So what would make the yields go up? I mean, the only thing I could possibly think was a massive liquidation of bonds by the U.S. government because we own our own debt. I don't see that happening. What are they going to do with the pros? I mean, So if they liquidated the bonds, the massive amounts of holdings they had to make the interest rates go up, well, where does all that cash go? You know what I'm saying? On top of that, what does that do to the overall economic output anyway? I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't think the long-term debt's going to go higher. second. Jeez Louise. Right here. I don't think this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen instead. The short-term money is going to go down. They're going to cut the short-term rates significantly too. Could be wrong. Yeah, I agree. I think we got 100%. I think by the beginning, by the third Q3 of this year, I think they'll start cutting. Yeah, I already have those inflation-adjusted bond funds. Whoa, inflation-adjusted bond funds were lost 17% last year. I'm surprised to see that. All right, so remember, the riskier the bonds, the lower the coupon. All right, so I'm going to show you this. When interest rates go up, the lower the coupon, the longer the maturity is, the more volatile the bonds. So a zero coupon with a 30-year maturity is going to be your most risky bond in terms of interest rates going up. All right, just always remember that. The higher the coupon, the shorter the maturity, the less volatility there is in a change of interest rates. The lower the coupon, the longer the maturity, the more volatile they'll be. And volatility goes both ways, by the way. It goes down and up. So a zero coupon long bond right now is pretty attractive to me, frankly. I'll tell you that. I haven't looked at what they're doing. I just don't know. But man, if it's a zero coupon long bond, whoo, Nelly. I mean, because if you think rates are going to go down, that's a pretty good gamble right there, man. That's a pretty good bet. I'd take that bet, actually. In fact, maybe I will. In fact, let's see if we can look at Schwab. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what Schwab. They got zero coupon long bonds. Hold on a second. I'm log in. American Out Loud. Maine governor fires vast network of first responders. What the hell? Janet Shills. She sucks. Janet Shills can kiss my big, fat, shiny behind. Ooh, you know what song you guys got to hear? Let me show you something here real quick. Look at research. We're going to look at bonds. Time to look at my shiny boots. All right. So I'm going to show you. You guys want to see a great song you should hear? Oh, yeah. Right here. Oh, man. These guys from Boston. The FUs. One of the best bands of all times. Time to look my shiny boots. Look my shiny boots, they call it. Yeah. Do we really want to hurt you, young fast Iranians? Oh, such good music. Warlords. My America FUs. Oh yeah. Anyway, if you get a chance, listen to FUs. The FUs from Boston. They one of my favorite bands of all time, actually. Love the FUs. All right, time to let my shiny boots kick the man fast once again. All right, so let's look at the bonds here. We're gonna go to all right. Let's see if we got any zero. Oh, oh man. Ooh. Now that's handsome. I'm digging this. All right, so U.S. Treasury zero. Let's take a gander, shall we? U.S. Treasury zero. Yield to maturity 3.97. It matures in 20 years. 3.797. You're getting that at 47. So what a zero coupon does, guys, is that when it matures, you're paying $47 for it. It's going to mature at 100, if that makes sense. All right. Now the interesting thing is, if rates start going down, this puppy is going to jump up. That puppy is going to jump up. So that's how a zero coupon works. You're getting no coupon. You're just buying it for 47, knowing in 20 years you'll get $100 back. Oh, that makes sense. I love zeros. They're so simple. You know, in 20 years, I'm going to get If I put $10,000 in 20 years, I'll get $25,000 back or something like that. It's great. Yeah, blind faith. That's what it was, Boss Tweed. Yes, blind faith. There you go. Yeah. John Mayall's Blues Breakers. Yep. Hey, look at my man A. Shouts. Yep, he's got his guitar right there. Yep. I was just singing a John Mayall song. Tell your mama, tell your pa, we're going to go down to Arkansas. What I say? That's what I say. Something, something, something. That's what I say. Tell your mama, tell your pa, we're going to go down to Arkansas. All right, so how exposed should a 25-year-old be? See, I'm telling you, man, the bond market for the next couple of years is awful attractive to me from a capital appreciation perspective. And you're locking in. I mean, you think about it. The nice thing about dividends is you're getting the dividend yield while you're waiting for the stock to appreciate. That's kind of what's happening in bonds now. You're getting a decent yield while you're waiting for the appreciation of the bonds to kick in. And that might not happen, but it should, because interest rates will probably go down. I highly suspect they're not going up. The drawback is the long rates are still very low. That's the only issue, is that the long bonds, they still aren't paying. They're only 3.5. That's what I say. If the government defaults, I mean, come on. If the government defaults, we're all screwed. That's no way around that. So if the government, all right. So let's look at what Mimi says. If the government defaults, T-bills will be worthless. It'd be better if I had CDs. Mimi, this is nuts. CDs are insured by the FDIC. They have no taxing authority. They're not a government entity. It's a financial private corporation paid for by the banks. Every bank puts a little bit of money into it. The government bonds are guaranteed not to go kaput with the taxing authority of the federal government. There's nothing safer than a T-bill. Don't make this mistake, for the love of all that is good. If the government defaults, if you think your banks are going to be sitting there like, hey, it's cool, we got money, you're nuts. Don't. Look, man, could the government defaults? Yep. This guy just said he received a $55 million inheritance. How should you invest? Send me, Venmo me $54 million, and I'll invest it for you. Japan holds the most debt, $1 trillion. That's nothing, man. Nothing. More exactly 100% land, man. You got it. All right. Probably one more. Yeah, right here. I'm liking Jerome Powell. I think Jerome Powell's a patriot. I can't remember who wrote this. Somebody wrote an article the other day about Jerome Powell doing Trump's dirty work. I said, ooh, in a good way. Like, I said, that's actually pretty good. I kind of like what this guy's thinking. I forgot who wrote that article, but Jerome Powell, I'm digging, man. Raise the interest rates, you know what I'm saying? So us savers finally get rewarded, retirees for once. You got to get the economy. You got to clean out some of this dead wood, stick it to Sniffy Joe. They can't just start They can't start borrowing like drunken sailors when rates are high. You see what I'm saying? And one of the reasons rates are low is because the federal government's still buying up the bonds. I get that. Oh yeah, well, zero coupon bonds inherent. Well, yeah, it went down because interest rates went up. I mean, that's the zero coupon is the most volatile bond there is. Interest rates go up, your zero goes down. Interest rates go down, your zero goes up. At the end of the day, you know exactly what you're going to get. You buy a zero coupon bond for 50, it matures at 100. It's just that simple. Which album was that off? Because Styx, I like the one where they had oh man, it's an old album. I gotta look it up. Oh jeez, hold on just a second. It wasn't Stupid Mr. Roboto, because that was just dumb. Oh gosh, a horrible album. Like, what did you guys? Was it the Grand Illusion? I don't think it was a Grand Illusion. It was. I can't remember. The song with Lady on it. Styx Lady. What's the song with Lady on it? Was that off? Song was that? What album was that on? I can't remember. Any of y'all remember what album Lady? I could have sworn it's Lady of the Morning. It was Marsha Brady freaking ever hot or what, dude? Good night. I'm just looking at YouTube right now. They got a picture of Marsha Brady. It's like, damn, she was freaking hot. Sticks, on what album? Was it Grand Illusion? I don't think so. Never mind. Sticks. Oh, just I gotta find this out. Let's get their album histoire. All right. Maybe it was Equinox, dude. Was it? I don't think it was Equinox. Yeah, I guess. Oh, my wife's back. All right, cool. Let me go in the other room. Wifey's here. Yeah, maybe it was Equinox, I guess. I didn't think it was though, man. Oh, 1 second. Oh, my back hurts. Mademoiselle. Yeah. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Dennis DeYoung, Tommy Shaw. That's all I remember from Styx. Lady of the morning. All right. Oh man. Hold on a second. I gotta find this out. It's gonna drive me crazy. I think Pablo's in Elizabeth Montgomery. Oh yeah, Elizabeth Montgomery. Yeah. Oof. Grand Illusion. Yeah, that was a good album. Let's see. Hold on a second. I think it was Equinox. Mother Dear, Lonely Child, Midnight Blue. No, that wasn't it. It wasn't Equinox. It was, hold on just a second. Crystal Ball. Nah, it wasn't Crystal Ball. And I remember, man. I just remember it had I'm gonna make you feel it. That's what it was. I'm gonna make you feel it. That's what it was. I'm gonna make you feel it. Man, Miracle Sticks. Oop. I'm gonna make you feel it. What song was that? What album was that on? You Need Love. Yeah, you okay. Yeah. I'm gonna make you feel it. That's it. So it's the second album they did in 1972. I'm gonna make you feel it. Yeah, man. Damn, I used to have that on cassette. All right. Anyway, saw Styx in a high school gym in 1972. Damn. It's crazy. I was listening to Van Halen, why they split up. I never really liked Van Halen that much, but David Lee Roth wanted to go more hard rock, and Eddie Van Halen wanted to go more instrumental, like Rush kind of did. And that's why they split up. And then you listen to David Lee Roth stuff, without Van Halen, it wasn't very hard. Kind of funny. That's crazy, man. Equinox. I'm gonna make you feel it. That's true. Oh, I think they all become pieces of 8. Yeah, I don't remember that. I wish I could play it. Yeah, whatever. All right, guys. What else? All right. Jeremy's gonna start playing rummy with his mom. That's cool, man. Are there any new bands that are good? I'm sure there are, but Call Me. Oh, dude, we got in Rumble, Jeremy saying Call Me Al by Paul Simon. Oh, and then a guy named UK Surfer on Rumble is saying that was a great song. And he's saying Mr. Roboto. Deep breath. Deep breath. Maybe it was Pieces of 8. Let me see. Nah, it wasn't, because I was Renegade. Yeah, okay. Ted Nugent. I like Ted Nugent, Great White Buffalo. And also like we did the Chuck Berry. Matt Maybelline. Chuck Berry's awesome too. Don't remember Piece of 8. Pull my Gen X card. Was it Pieces of 8? It's like, I just remember, I'm gonna make it. All right, I'm gonna have to hear it real quick. Hold on a second. We're gonna listen to YouTube for a second. Listen, I'm gonna make you feel it by Sticks because I'm sure that's the. I'm make you feel it Sticks. Let's see. 1 second. It don't look like the same cover though. That's it right there. Yeah, that's it, man. That was her second album. Yeah, man, I had so many freaking cassette tapes. Yeah, UFO. I heard a lot of metal guys loved UFO. They didn't do anything for me, man. If you remember the '70s, you weren't there. Oh, I was born in 1970. But I will say, I was born in July of 1970, and my favorite band of all time was Black Sabbath, and they came to Portland, Maine to play in October 1970, and it's on YouTube. Portland, Maine, Black Sabbath. October 1970, right after old buddy Josh was born in July of 1970. My parents had all kinds of freaking, they had everything on there. They had Jesus Christ Superstar, Peter Tosh. They had all what's that guy's name who did the freaking Edmund Fitzgerald song, whatever that song was. We had the Christmas Revels, all kinds of, man, my parents were, because they're hippies, dude. They're hippies from San Francisco who moved to get back to the land. And somehow we ended up an island in Portland, off the coast of Portland, Maine, Peaks Island, and that's where a lot of the eclectic, back to the earth people. Gordon Lightfoot was at it. Yeah, Gordon Lightfoot. That's that. I remember hearing that all the time, and so we go. So I, back this one, kids could literally, I'd take the boat into Portland, Maine. I was like 8, 9 years old by myself. And you go to the record store, you buy. I remember I got Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. This in 1979 for like $3. Black Sabbath, Master Reality, Rush, Caress of Steel, a couple Kiss albums, Police. When Police, after I said, "What? Why does everyone like this band?" That was Ghost in the Machine. Oh, horrible, horrible. It's like what? Oh, like this sucks, dude. And Kiss had Dynasty. It was like horrible. I was like, oh, painful to listen to. My first album ever was Black Sabbath, Master of Reality, though. Oh man. Saw Sabbath the Kiss opening. Kiss had a line of Marshall stacks with no speakers in them. I don't get why would they not have. Well, I don't get why would they not have speakers? Like it was all you're saying they're just recorded or something like that. Yeah, Caress is still like freaking. I used to keep all my cassette tapes, no sneaker boxes, and CDs and all digital. Yeah, I know, dude. I had so many freaking CDs and my cassette tapes, and Ferris, yeah, dude. Yeah, 100%. Into the Void is the best song of all time, without question. Yeah, yeah, that's right, dude. It kills me to this day when I got rid of Chris. When I got rid of my, so we moved from Virginia to Texas, and I just had all my cassette tapes. Because by then you didn't use them anymore. This is like in the late 2000s, and they're just taking up space. I threw them all away. Oh, I just, oh. So I had to sell all my LPs because I was in legal trouble, shall you say. So this guy, believe it or not, I was in a band for a short time when I was in college, and the guy who was a guitarist in my band. He bombed off me for $500, and I just tons of albums, dude. Old freaking punk rock. Old. I still have my 7 inches, but all my 12 inches, I gave up. DRI, the first run copied DRI, just all kind of stuff on purple vinyl, just a million different things. Oh man. Anyway, so I had to, I was in trouble, so I had to, get paid money for attorney, and sold my LPs, threw away my freaking cassette tapes, and freaking kept all my 7 inches, and now all my CDs I never listened to, they're all up in the attic up there, but I'll never get rid of them. Just oh man, it's painful. All the cassette tapes. Like when you get an album and you open up and you like get the lyric page and all that. I mean, that's just like it doesn't happen anymore. It's fun, man. You open up the album, if it's had a 7 hours for a cent. Yeah, exactly. 7 hours for a cent. It's crazy. The CBS Columbia House. You know what I'm saying? That was, man. Those were the days. Yeah, and now it's nuts. Literally, you can look. I mean, you can go. I'm gonna show you guys. Watch this. You can go on YouTube. Black Sabbath. Actually, I talked about my book. Hold on a sec. Oh shit. Hold on. I'm gonna make you feel it. Like Rush before Neil Peart came on board. More of a hard rocking band. You know what I'm saying? Triumph. You gotta love Triumph, dude. Triumph, freaking Rick Emmett, crushed. Right there. We're gonna show you. I linked to this in my new book, by the way, which I'm getting lazy. It's just writing a book sucks. I don't care what anybody says. You got to freaking. It's the editing. I like the research. It's the editing that sucks. So here's Black Sabbath in Portland, Maine. There you go. So there's Ozzy. There's Tony. Right there. University of Maine. Portland. That'd be University of Southern Maine. That's where my mom ended up graduating in like the early 80s. So, see, I think that'd be 4 days after I'm born, but I think in the Europe they do it differently. I think it's 11/7. Yeah, November 7th. Because I was born 7/7/70. So this is November 7th, 1970. I think I even got a comment on here. Yep, right here. Man, I was born in Portland, Maine, just a few months before this show. No wonder why. I've always been a Sabbath fan. There I am. I even got a thing from that guy who Z Wolf Smub. Ooh, we got 5 replies. Let's see what these guys say. Yes, yeah, okay. That's awesome, dude. I was born the same day, different year though. All right, right on, man. I do the same thing in my head too, man. I can't believe Cream was playing the Cow Palace the day I was born. That's awesome, man. So that's cool, but come on, San Francisco versus Portland, Maine. That Sabbath even went to Portland, Maine in 1970. It's nuts. The only reason I was born there is my folks moved from San Francisco the year before, actually. Yep. This guy had a similar trajectory. Born in California, where my dad was from, but when I was 2, we moved to Maine. Holy crap, dude. That's nuts. Wait a second. Born in California, but when I was 2 in 1970, we moved to Maine. Whoa. Where my mother's from. Lived there for several years before moving back to California. That sounds like a Led Zeppelin song. My dad and older brother both went to University of Maine. Speaking of concerts, my brother saw a bunch of big acts. Jackson Brown. Yep. Used to have Jackson Brown. Parents loved Jackson Brown. Oh, man, that's freaking awesome. That's crazy. That's pretty cool. All right, guys. Class of 74. Oh, man. Is that high school class of 74? Danny Osmond, man. That's funny. Y'all ever look at like those old videos, like, yeah, what I'm saying. I mean, so it's better now because you can have access to all the music you want. They don't have to wait for some freaking, scumbag, child molester to sign you or anything like that. You guys ever watch those old videos from like high school, like in the 80s and the 70s, whatnot? It's crazy, man. Like you just go back, it's like it's not the way it is anymore, man. It's crazy. It's a different country. All right, my friends, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm getting tired, man. It's 9:43. God bless. Appreciate y'all being here. Long bonds for the long run. I'm telling you right now, not stocks for the long run. Long bonds for the long run. I should do a video on that tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna do a video tomorrow that's gonna show. Well, actually, the video I did today got a lot of views, so that was good. But tomorrow I'm gonna do one showing how negative. I'm gonna do some negative. What was it? 58.8% of people, more people are financially insecure now under Biden in retirement. I got to tighten that title up, but anyway, I bet that gets a lot of views because anytime you promote negativity and you choose the left-right paradigm, you know what I'm saying? The false dichotomy of left versus right. People like, yeah, how dare you attack Biden? Go after Biden. So I'm gonna do a video on that. It'll be Jill says her first music idol was David Cassidy. Could it be forever? Well, the ship has sunk with that quote, Jill. Thank you, but that's definitely a sign of. All right, God bless. We'll see you.